Our generation fights for our seat on the table. Climate change is connected to us. I started a movement to protect my future.
There is such a big divide in this country. Injustice is present in every part of our lives.
A dictatorship has nothing to do with our values. I'm not from China. I'm from Hong Kong.
It's up to us to shape the future.
It's better for my family not to know my role on the front line.
We don't risk our future by protesting on the streets. Not going on the streets will risk our future way more.
We're joined this evening by the film's director, Franz Böhm. We're also joined by Glacier Kwong at the end there, who is a doctoral student and an activist, a strong activist in the Hong Kong movement. Also Catherine Lee, who's a performer and activist within the movement too. My name is Luke de Pulford. What were your reflections on the film, and do you think that it faithfully expresses your experience?
And I was on the street, and I would say that the film can actually authentically capture the moments when you are on the street, and I would say it's fairly difficult to capture all these gas and all the violent actions that were on the street. However, they did, from a frontline perspective, capture them very nicely.
I kind of share the same despair to a certain extent, where I do have the moments where I was just feeling I'm not sure what I'm doing. It feels like that there's nothing left to be done. Like that, those feelings were true, but at the same time, as an activist, you know that it's not entirely true at the same time, because things are still happening in Hong Kong, even though it doesn't get as much attention as before. For example, Chong Hong Tong, Gwyneth Ho, or a lot of other activists, they're still fighting in the courtroom setting. They're still saying things that should be said. For example, I'm not going to give out the freedom of the press in exchange for bail conditions. This is what Chong Hong Tong and Gwyneth Ho are continuously doing in Hong Kong.
Franz, can you tell us, when you were filming this, what sort of resistance did you encounter from what you saw as party or CCP authorities, and how did you deal with that?
The most challenging part of this whole project was not even filming in Hong Kong or in Chile. It wasn't filming while being shot at, but it was defending the project after the completion of filming. We received massive threats, death threats. Even my grandparents received stuff, even my grandparents received threats in their mailbox. And we collaborated very closely with the Harvard University and with numerous departments of the Harvard University to build up an international infrastructure that is allowing filmmakers like myself and like many others to make these projects in the first place. We were actually quite surprised that when we started the project, we obviously knew about the challenge. We knew that when we include a Hong Kong activist, that we will face some sort of resistance there. And we were quite surprised that there was not a clear strategy for projects like these. We spoke with many other filmmakers, young filmmakers, and the most used strategy was just to cancel these projects, or just not to make them at all. And clearly that situation needed a solution, and we are, again, very happy that we had a close collaboration. The so-called reverse deepfake technology was developed at Harvard. It enabled us to securely do the film in Hong Kong and to protect not only Pepper's identity, but also the identity of, for example, the mappers that you saw in the film, and everybody else in Hong Kong.